Warning. The following fanfic reading is for mature audiences only. It contains graphic content such as blood, gore, death, graphic descriptions of executions, and adult jokes. Viewers' discretion is advised. Bullet Point. Written by Reeve. Chapter 3. On the Trail We Blaze. Pinkie Pie walked through Ponyville. Something was definitely off, but she couldn't quite put her hoof on it. Maybe it was the fact that the ground, sky, and buildings were all gray and pixelated. No, they had always been like that. So what was different about today?
Good morning, Pinkie Pie,
Twilight Sparkle said, walking past Pinkie, her nose buried in a book.
Lovely day we're having.
Sure are! But Twilight, does something seem different today?
Different? I'm not sure what you mean, Pinkie. Now come on, we don't want to be late for the picnic.
The picnic! Of course! Pinkie had almost forgotten as she obsessed over some imagined difference. Not wanting to waste any more time, she began galloping out of town towards the outskirts, where she knew her other friends were waiting for them. As she ran, Twilight rushed past her, her wings outstretched. Pinkie picked up the pace, not wanting to be left behind. As they ran, Ponyville dissolved around them to be replaced by a gray hill with a single gray tree atop it. And there sat her friends.
Good morning, every pony,
Twilight greeted, sitting down on the blanket. Pinkie chipped in, plopping down beside Twilight.
Ah, Pinkie! I've been meaning to speak to you. I have a new line ray, and I would love you to model some of my dresses for me.
Sure, Trendy. I'd love to.
Care for an apple, Pinkie?
Donut Joe asked, offering her a basket full of ripe, gray apples.
I've just picked them this morning.
Yes, please.
Pinkie said, laughing at Donut Joe's usual thick country accent before reaching in and taking out an apple.
Oh, Pinkie, you should have been there earlier. I was doing some flying tricks that would have blown your mind.
Aw, that sounds awesome. Will you do them again?
I think we should wait. We're still waiting on one of our friends, remember? Oh, there she is.
Pinkie looked down on the hill at her approaching friend, wrapped in an inferno of writhing flames. Bright orange piercing through the gray.
Sorry I'm late,
Coco said, smiling despite the flames enveloping her.
It wasn't the fastest way to go.
Day 10, 8:15 a.m. Pinkie's eyes snapped open, her whole body springing bolt upright.
Coco!
She called out, the memories of the previous night flooding back. The message, the fire, the body. Coco's body! Pinkie could smell the faint stench of smoke nearby, turning her head slowly, dreading what she was about to see. She looked at what appeared to be a burning mound last night. It was now nothing more than a blackened, charred corpse. It was so small, but then Coco never was the biggest of ponies. Pinkie stumbled to her hooves. Her breathing became rapid and stumbled over to the body, only to collapse down beside it. No! She whispered, reaching out to the body with a trembling hoof. Pinkie's ears pricked up at the sound of fast-approaching hooves on the gravel path. Looking over her shoulder, she saw Trixie, Vinyl, and Fleur running towards her. Pinkie stood as they began to get near. Pinkie! There you are, Vinyl said as the trio slowed to a walk. You didn't show up to breakfast.
Along with pretty much every pony else.
And when we were walking by the main doors, we saw the smoke and came to see what was... Vinyl's voice died in her mouth as they all got close enough to see what was behind Pinkie.
Is that...
Trixie began, her eyes widening in shock.
Oh no!
Fleur said, covering her mouth with a huff.
Who is it, Pinkie?
It's Coco.
Oh man, Vinyl muttered, hanging her head.
I suppose you came to investigate the smoke too,
Fleur said, walking up beside Pinkie and putting a hoof on her shoulder.
No, I was here when it happened.
Pinkie said without thinking, Fleur's hoof jumping away instantly. All three mares stared at Pinkie in stunned silence. You were here? Vinyl asked, her sunglasses levitating up to reveal the surprise in her eyes.
Then what happened? Who did this? I don't know.
Pinkie stammered, suddenly feeling very small under their gazes.
I woke up at 4 in the morning because a message was sent to my hoof computer saying fire. I looked out my window and saw the flames, so I ran out here. But as soon as I reached the body, I was knocked out. Damn it!
Vinyl said, kicking the ground. It's never easy.
What do you mean you got a message?
Fleur asked, her eyes narrowing for some reason Pinkie didn't know.
On my hoof computer!
Pinkie repeated, holding out her hoof.
It just said fire, like it was warning me.
Fleur glanced at the other two. Trixie was sharing her expression, while Vinyl looked unsure.
Could you show us this message?
I don't know how, but why?
Pinkie began before joining the pieces.
Wait, you think I did this?
We didn't say that,
But you do think that, don't you?
Pinkie accused, backing up slightly.
They suspect me! After everything, they don't trust me!
It's just a precaution. As soon as we see the message, we can rule you out and start investigating.
But I don't know how to show you it!
Here, hold out your hoof, Vinyl said, walking forward. I know how to drag up old messages.
Good. Vinyl will find the message, and they'll see I'm telling the truth!
Pinkie held out her hoof, smiling as her friend took it in her own and began fiddling with the computer on Pinkie's hoof.
Anything?
Trixie asked after a couple of silent minutes. Vinyl bit her lip. There's nothing here, she replied simply, backing away from Pinkie, not meeting her eye.
What? But it was there! How could Vinyl not have found it?
I don't know what to tell you, Vinyl said, still looking at the ground. But there aren't any recent messages on that thing, especially none that mention a fire.
I see.
But it's the truth!
Then Pinkie looked beyond the three mares and saw the rest of the ponies approaching them.
It would seem the mastermind alerted the rest.
Trixie announced, following Pinkie's gaze.
Vinyl!
Pinkie said, trying to get her friend to look at her. Instead, it only succeeded at making Vinyl more interested in her hooves. What's happened? Cloud Chaser asked as the rest arrived on the scene.
The mastermind said there was another body. If you're all here, then that must mean...
I'm afraid so. The victim is Coco Pamel.
What?
Cloud Chaser yelled, causing Soren, Brayburn, and Blueblood all to scream out in pain, clutching their skulls.
Please, not so loud!
Oh, shut up! A pony has Alex just died, and all you three care about are your stupid hangovers.
Is that true? Soren asked, massaging his forehead. Is Coco dead?
I'm afraid so.
Fleur stated, before directing her attention to Redheart.
But she didn't just die. It happened very early this morning. Pinkie confirmed that for us.
What's that supposed to mean?
Gizmo asked, eyeing Pinkie curiously.
Pinkie here claims to have been here when the murder took place. She claims she received a message warning her of the fire. A message that has disappeared from her hoof computer. I did!
Pinkie exclaimed, desperation making way for anger now.
I got the message, saw the fire, ran outside through the kitchen door, and came straight here, but I got knocked out!
The kitchen door?
Yes.
The grounds doors in the kitchen area is locked. Cloud Chaser, Gizmo, and I tried it when we received the announcement.
Locked, you say? And there's only one key that can lock that door.
But
Do you have the master key on you right now?
Fleur asked, all eyes turning to Pinkie. The key had been in Pinkie's saddlebags, and Pinkie had brought her saddlebags with her as she left her room.
it should be my saddlebag. But the one who knocked me out probably took it!
Then empty your bags. Simple.
Fine.
Pinkie said, trying to hide the fear in her voice. Pulling her saddlebags off her back, she set them on the ground, before tipping its contents onto the ground. From the bag spilled a number of random items that Pinkie had taken to carrying around with her. A Daring Do book for when she had free time, a few packets of crisps in case she got snacky and wasn't near the kitchen, a scarf she got from Rarity on her last birthday, and...
Hey, those matches!
Indeed. Lying beneath the scarf was the very box of matches Brayburn had found in the shed.
I don't know how they got in there!
Pinkie said honestly, but too quickly for any pony to believe her.
Brayburn, weren't you keeping a hold of these matches?
Yeah, but I couldn't find them this morning.
He explained, picking them up.
I thought I lost them.
And look!
Trixie pointed out, levitating up the little gold key.
This is bad. This is very bad! Please listen to me! I had no idea how those matches got in my bag!
This is looking very bad for you, Pinkie.
I know, but I'm telling the truth! Doesn't any pony believe me?
Pinkie looked around the faces. Fleur and Trixie were standing resolutely, Vinyl still refusing to meet her gaze. Redheart and Brayburn were looking unsure, but Gizmo looked fairly convinced. I believe her. Every pony looked over at Soren and Blueblood, who were also looking at each other.
You do?
Fleur asked, before looking specifically to Blueblood.
You both do?
You're right. It looks pretty bad for Pinkie, Soren answered, looking back at them all. But it also looked pretty bad for me when Trenderhoof died. Pinkie didn't judge me right off the bat. She gave me the chance I needed. So I'll do the same for her. Redheart nodded approvingly, and every pony looked to Blueblood, who just shrugged.
She's no killer, let's be honest. She wouldn't have the stomach for it.
The others looked away, not that surprised by Blueblood's response in the end. But in doing so, they didn't see the small smile he flashed at Pinkie. Strained, but genuine.
Always there for you. Wouldn't turn his back when things get hard.
Soren makes a valid point. We shouldn't pass judgment until we have all the facts.
Which means we must begin investigating.
Well, we shouldn't let her walk about on her own.
Gizmo insisted, thrusting a hoof at Pinkie.
I'm not going to tamper with anything!
Pinkie replied, outraged at the notion.
If it will make every pony feel better, Soren, could you stay with her? You did vouch for her after all.
I can indeed.
All right then, we should get to work. Who knows when the mastermind will choose to call the trial?
Day 10, 9 o'clock a.m.
Thanks for sticking up for me back there.
Pinkie said to Soren as the pair walked up the drive to the manor doors. It wasn't fair of them to do that, especially after the other day when they all said you were trustworthy enough to hold on to the master key.
Yeah.
Pinkie said forlornly before remembering something.
How are you doing, by the way? About Coco, I mean. I know you liked her.
What? How did you know that?
Last night, while you guys were drinking, you got a little loose-lipped.
Well, I'm not okay about it. Coco was a really good pony. She didn't deserve that. But don't worry about me. It was just a little crush, so I'm not heartbroken or anything.
How's the head?
Pinkie asked suddenly, remembering their initial state before hearing about Coco. Yeah, it's still killing me. Soren admitted, grinning. But I can ignore it. We got more important things to deal with right now. Speaking of which, you're the expert detective. Where should we start?
Well, ordinarily, the body would be a good starting point. But the others have that covered. Let's check out the two doors. I want to confirm they really are locked before Fleur and Trixie come by with a master key and unlock them again.
All right, we'd better run then. Pinkie nodded and entered into a trot, heading around the left of the manor house to the pool door. Day 10, 9:24 a.m. Looks like they beat us to the punch, Soren said disgruntled, seeing the ponies standing around the kitchen door.
I think Fleur held onto the key. We might not be too late.
Running forward, they reached the door where Vinyl, Brayburn, and Cloud Chaser were all standing outside of. It's locked, don't worry, Cloud Chaser said as she saw them coming, pulling the handle to demonstrate. That means both doors were definitely locked.
So what does that indicate?
Had to stay objective about this. Well, this door was definitely open at the time the murder took place. Only the master key can lock these doors. And since the main doors were closed at the time of the murder and didn't open until 7, that means either the killer locked both doors from the inside before waiting until the main doors opened before delivering the key outside again, or they locked them from the outside and stayed outside until the main doors opened.
Or, just to cover all bases, they locked the two doors and never went inside.
Yes, I suppose that is equally plausible.
Gizmo, Redheart, and I were at breakfast when the announcement was made. After Redheart found us last night and gave us all a brow beating, we all crashed in Brayburn's room. All three of us were there when the announcement was made. And Fleur, Trixie, and I were together, as you know.
So the only one of us who could have been outside and could have been guilty in that case was me.
Hey, we only started investigating. Well, we can't get inside through here, but instead of traipsing back to the main doors, how about we check the shed? What for? Clues. Fine. I guess it's a start, Cloud Chaser said, uninterested, leading the way towards the shed. The group walked in silence, Pinkie occasionally looking over at Vinyl, only to see her pointedly looking the other way. Once outside the shed, they found the doors closed, the chain lying discarded nearby, just as they'd left it. Without waiting for an invite, Brayburn slit the doors wide open, allowing light to spill into the otherwise pitch-black shed. Vinyl led the way inside, her horn lighting up as it added measure. I don't know about you guys, Cloud Chaser began, looking around the overflowing shed. But I don't think we'll find anything here. This place looked like it had been ransacked before we even opened it. Trying to find something that stands out here will be like looking for a piece of hay in a stack full of needles.
Well then,
Soren replied, reaching down for something the rest couldn't see.
I guess you could say this is a piece of hay.
Soren turned around, smiling triumphantly, holding the shovel for the rest to see. A shovel, Cloud Chaser deadpanned, looking around the shed, at least a dozen other shovels visible to them. What a rare find in a shed filled with shovels.
Yes, it's rare to find a shovel that's been recently used in a shed full of completely clean tools,
Soren said, still grinning. Curiosity rising, Pinkie walked over to where Soren stood, holding the shovel. Indeed, every other tool in the shed that was old, but spotless regardless. But this shovel was caked in dry mud, a telltale sign of having recently been used.
So, what do you think? Do you think some pony fancied doing a bit of gardening work?
Oh, right, I get it! You can quit rubbing it in now!
You should hold on to this,
Pinkie suggested, not sure what part it could have played in this mystery, but far from willing to rule it out. Soren nodded and carried it outside where Braeburn was still waiting. Pinkie continued searching around. They'd got lucky with the shovel, but her hopes weren't high for stumbling across anything else out of place. As she searched, she found herself navigating back to a familiar corner of the shed. She wasn't even aware of why it struck her as familiar until she saw the broken lawnmower in front of her. Remembering the broken blades sticking out every direction, making the lawnmower resemble some medieval torture device than a gardening tool. Pinkie shuddered as she looked over at the table Fleur had laid them out on. Something was wrong, and Pinkie knew instantly what it was. The other day, when Fleur had placed the blades out of harm's way, she had laid them out in a very orderly fashion. But now they lay in a mismatched heap, edging closer, a worrying feeling building up in her gut. Pinkie began pushing through the blades, moving very carefully so as to not cut herself on the razor-sharp edges. When all the blades were once more spread out on the table, Pinkie saw it, buried beneath all the others, a single blade covered in blood. "I thought she died by fire," Vinyl whispered behind Pinkie. Pinkie managed to prevent herself from jumping in surprise, instead reaching out and picking up the blade. It was a slow and delicate task, picking it up in her hooves, a single wrong movement resulting in her losing a leg. She turned around so both her and Vinyl could see it clearly in the light of Vinyl's horn. There was a lot of blood, mostly congealed, but here and there Pinkie saw spots where the light was reflected, showing the bits that had yet to dry. "I can hold on to that," Vinyl offered, picking the blade up in her magic. Pinkie didn't argue. Instead, she just turned and left the shed. Outside, Braeburn, Soren, and Cloud Chaser were all standing next to the wood pile, apparently deep in discussion. Soren was the first to see her and waved her over.
Pinkie, Braeburn thinks some of the kindling wood is missing.
I don't think so. I know this bag was still full yesterday.
The killer probably took it to use as fuel for the fire.
Exactly. So they definitely came by this way, which means it's possible they were the ones who used this shovel.
Let's head back to the body. Maybe the others have found something.
Day 10, 10:06 a.m. "Any news?" Trixie asked as the group approached.
Both doors were locked as assumed.
Pinkie replied calmly. Trixie just nodded.
We also found a muddy shovel in the shed, and some of the kindling wood was missing.
We assumed as much. There is evidence some wood fuel was used. But what of the shovel?
It looks like it was used recently. I'm gonna look around this area and see if there was any digging going on recently.
You do that.
As Soren left, she turned to Pinkie and the others.
You should come and see the body.
Trixie turned and led the way over to the body where Fleur and Blue Blood were still shadowing Redheart as she examined the blackened body.
She looks so peaceful.
Brayburn pointed out, gesturing at Coco's body, which was lying flat as opposed to twisted in agony.
That's because she was killed before she was set on fire.
Redheart explained, pointing at Coco's neck, which had a massive gash running across it. That makes sense, Vinyl said, bringing out the bloody blade Pinkie had found. This was also in the shed.
Well, I guess it's safe to say that's our murder weapon,
Fleur said, her eyes briefly flickering over to Pinkie. Where's Gizmo? Cloud Chaser asked suddenly. Pinkie looked around at this, realizing he wasn't there.
I think he went to search the house. Speaking of which, I'd better go open the doors in case we need to get through them.
With that, Fleur left, Trixie following close behind. Pinkie looked back to Redheart, who had stood up from the body.
Is there anything else?
No. As far as I can tell, the killer cut Coco's throat, most likely using that blade you found, before lying her out and lighting her up. There doesn't seem to be anything more to it than that.
We should go look inside the house now. It doesn't look like there's anything left to be discovered out here. Brayburn nodded, and he and Redheart began following Cloud Chaser along the path back to the house.
I'm going to go see if Soren found anything!
Redheart looked over her shoulder and nodded before carrying on. Pinkie turned around, this time fully aware Blue Blood was standing there watching her.
You really believe I didn't do it?
Of course I believe you. I wasn't lying when I said you didn't have it in you to kill anyone. But I also knew you never would.
Pinkie turned her head away so Blue Blood wouldn't see her blush.
Aw, thank you.
Don't thank me yet.
Blue Blood said, his momentary softness disappearing.
We still have to figure out who is responsible.
He's right. But despite what we found, I can't think of anyone who could be responsible. Do you have any thoughts?
Pinkie asked, beginning to walk in the direction she saw Soren head off in.
Nothing substantial.
He admitted, following after her.
It probably doesn't help that you drank your body weight in wine last night.
I suppose so. I can't remember a thing that happened last night.
He replied with an amused smirk before his face turned grim.
But I have been a bit curious as to why your friends were so eager to pin the blame on you.
You mean Final, Trixie, and Fleur?
Pinkie asked. Blue Blood nodded.
It does seem unlike them, but I don't see any of them being murderers.
Did you see that donut maker or that Pegasus as murderers before you found out they were?
Their names are Donut Joe and Lightning Dust. But no, I didn't.
Blue Blood looked like he was about to say something, but then the both of them froze as they heard fast approaching hoofsteps. Looking to her right, Pinkie saw Soren burst through a shrubbery, looking ecstatic about something. Pinkie, come quick!
What? What is it?
Pinkie asked, stunned by Soren's insistence. Just come on! He shouted over his shoulder, taking off the direction he came. Pinkie and Blue Blood glanced at each other for a second before hurrying after him. They didn't have to run far, which was good because Blue Blood was proving to be vastly slower than Pinkie. They turned a corner to find Soren standing, gasping for breath over a hole in the ground, the shovel planted firmly in the soil next to it.
Soren!
Pinkie began, approaching the hole.
Yeah, I wandered through here and found this patch of upturned dirt, dug around a bit, and found this.
Pinkie looked down into the small hole and gasped at what lay inside. A key with a large fob she recognized as one of the bedroom keys, and a dirt-encrusted hoof computer.
Coco's?
Pinkie asked, looking back up at Soren.
I think so.
Blue Blood said hesitantly, racking his brain for something appropriate to say.
Well done.
I guess.
Pinkie said quietly, smirking at Blue Blood.
We should go search Coco's room. We might find something to explain why she was out here at all.
I hadn't even thought about that.
Pinkie admitted, realizing how odd it was for Coco to have been outside at 4 a.m. to begin with.
Sure, let's check it out.
Day 10, 10:43 a.m. Pinkie and Soren stood outside the bedroom door, Blue Blood having left them to see if the others had discovered anything new.
Are you sure this is right?
Let's find out.
Pinkie said, putting the filthy key into the lock. Despite the thin layer of grime covering it, it unlocked the door with relative ease. The door swung open, revealing another generic bedroom. Bed with its covers meticulously flattened out, door to bathroom, dresser, and bedside table.
Don't suppose the guy's room's already different?
Pinkie asked as the pair walked inside.
Doesn't look like it.
Soren replied, casually opening the dresser drawers. Pinkie strode over to the bedside table, sliding the small drawer open and staring at its contents.
Bingo!
Pinkie picked up the folded sheet of paper, leaving the drawer completely bare.
Soren! I found something!
Pinkie announced, inviting Soren to come and stand beside her as she flipped it open. Dear Coco.
Good start.
Oh, God. That writing is messy. You'd think the pony that wrote this was drunk or something.
I love you. Pinkie and Soren looked at each other, their eyebrows raised. Like, seriously, you are so hot. I just want to grab your plot and...
Whoa!
Pinkie exclaimed, looking up from the paper, her face burning with embarrassment.
That's too graphic! I mean, even the fluffy senses wouldn't allow this shit!
Yeah, I agree with you there. Let's just skip that part, shall we?
If any of that sounds good to you, then meet me outside on the main drive right now. Eagerly waiting.
Soren! No!
Soren began stammering, pulling the letter from Pinkie's grip.
This can't be right. I never see anything as vulgar as this.
Pinkie was left a bit speechless, mouthing like a fish out of water.
For me to write something as insane as this, I'd have to be pissed drunk.
Soren trailed off, his eyes wide in horror.
Oh.
But even if I did write this, how did it end up here? We went straight from the dining room to Brayburn's room. I could never have delivered this.
What if some pony found it after you left the dining room? They could have slid it under Coco's door and used it to bait her outside.
By that logic, it's my fault, Cheese.
No! Don't ever think that! You made a drunken mistake, but you didn't kill her, so it is not your fault!
Still, I can't believe this worked. I always imagined Coco was the kind of mare who'd read something like this and hide under her bed covers crying.
I guess we didn't know her as well as we thought we did.
Pinkie suggested, a bit disturbed by the notion as well.
So, who could have found that letter? We have no way of knowing who went to the dining room after we left.
We should go down there now! We might find something!
God, I hope so. Because now this is looking bad for you and me both.
Day 10, 11:03 a.m.
Vinyl!
Pinkie called, seeing the DJ walk out of the dining room. Vinyl looked over hearing her name, but flinched when she saw it was Pinkie.
Just forget it. If she suspects you, it's her own problem. Just be professional.
Yeah?
Someone dug up Coco's hoof computer outside.
Pinkie said, holding said item out to Vinyl.
Can you take a look at it and see if you can find anything on it?
Sure, Vinyl said, telekinetically grabbing the computer off Pinkie. Pinkie opened her mouth to continue talking, but Vinyl had already started walking away, leaving Pinkie to side herself before her and Soren entered the dining room. The room was scarcely occupied, only Gizmo sitting on a seat and Redheart circling the table.
Oh, hey there.
Redheart greeted, seeing them enter.
How's it going?
Okay, Redheart. You wouldn't know if any pony else came in here after you sent us to bed last night, do you?
No, I went to bed shortly after myself. Why?
Oh, no reason.
Soren said hurriedly, making Redheart raise an eyebrow out of curiosity.
Soren may have written a letter in his drunken state which was used to lure Coco outside.
Pinkie explained, despite Soren's miniature panic attack.
We think some pony took it after you all left, but we don't know who else was in here.
Well, I never saw any letters.
I never came in here. I was in my room.
You've been in your room an awful lot these last couple days. What exactly have you been doing?
Nothing.
Pinkie and Soren looked at one another briefly.
He's hiding something. I wonder what. Gizmo?
All right, every pony. The time for our investigation is over. Please make your way to the entrance hall so the trial may begin.
Gotta go.
Gizmo exclaimed, rushing out of the room to avoid any further questions.
See if you can't get anything out of him. I'm going to have a quick look over at where you guys were sitting before catching up.
Soren nodded, striding from the room, followed closely by Redheart. Pinkie hurried over to the end of the table the three stallions had been drinking at the night before. She'd have to be quick about this. She didn't want to give the mastermind an excuse to punish her. Reaching the end of the table, she began scanning it for anything out of the ordinary. Some pony must have cleared away the glasses and bottles, probably this morning while they were having breakfast. However, they might have missed somewhere. Pinkie crouched down and held up the tablecloth. Her eyes widening as she notices a large patch of something dried into the carpet.
What?
Tonight I swear I'll make this world
I love how Nurse Redheart is like, oh, shut up! A pony just died, and all you three care about are your stupid hangovers?
I can't help it. It ain't my fault. Well, it kind of is, but... Should have thought of it sooner. Also, what the hell happened to my hangover? I thought, like, one minute I have a hangover, and the next I'm feeling better.
Oh my god, that is so freaking funny. I have to admit that is actually hilarious, but also weird at the same time. Cloud Chaser yelled, causing Soren, Brayburn, and Blue Blood all to—
Meow! Yes, baby!
Wait. Hold on. I gotta answer this text message. I'll try this again.
After Redheart's... Okay. I gotta stop being drunk from a hangover for a second and fucking read the damn line. Okay? No, my head's pounding, but fucking still. Exactly. So they definitely came by this way. Which means it's possible they were the ones who used this Used this shovel. Enunciate, Fluffy, please. Okay.
It probably doesn't help that you drank your body weight in wine last night like you're fucking drunk as shit.
Oh my god, I just made myself giggle. Holy shit balls in a nutcrack. This is fucking awesome. Anyway, I'm gonna try this again.
It probably doesn't help that you drank your body weight in wine last night. I gotta fucking read my shit. So, according to Granny Smith, what the fuck just happened? I swear to God, I'm not in this fucking story of Danganronpa crossover shit. I swear. It's their fucking killing game, you.
Oh my god, I'm having too much fun with this.
Soren may have written... Oh, fuck, that's the wrong voice. Fucking hell, this is Pinkie's line, no. Yeah, why do I say myself in third person? What the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna try this shit again.
Soren may have written a letter in his drunken state with... I cannot fucking read your lines, goddammit! Fuck!
Oh, yay.
You've been in your room an awful lot these last couple of...
Can I fucking accuse Gizmo, please? Can I fucking accuse these lying accusing correctly? Can I fucking do that? Please, for the love of God. Ay. Hey everyone, Agent Fluffy here, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to support me even more, feel free to support my Patreon. The links are right here.